Hello everyone, welcome back to a new YouTube cast. Today we're going to be having a look at a game between MCanning in the top right, spawning as the red toss, and in bottom left, DisK. Now these are two American Pro Toss players, and as I say that, I think that DisK might be Canadian. French-Canadian to be precise, but I could be wrong. He speaks a bit like a French-Canadian when he speaks English. So it's possible, at least from North America, so that makes both of them American. If you're born in any of the America, then by definition you're an American. Now we have MCanning opening up with a quick scout, as we see DisK going for the opposite of a quick scout. It's going to be a quick proxy, so he won't get any information. Still sends out the probe rather fast. Pretty interesting to see what he's going to be doing here. So we enable the music to have some sweet background noises here. Now this map I mentioned before has the Ursadon on it. It's a big creature. Has 10 HP. You can kill it with 2 probes, or you can kill it in one shot with almost any other unit. Now let's see what MCanning's response is to scout. Ooh, what the hell? MCanning's initial response is making it good luck, have fun with a Colossus as a spray from the probe. Now he sees the lack of any probe production, sees another pylon start. This is going to be Adept, Warp Gate. Now we see double Stalker starting right now for MCanning, who starts scouting with 2 probes around the map actually. It's kind of a interesting response to see, as you don't see this a lot of the time. A lot of the time you just see a single probe, people not wanting to spend too much money, losing too many minerals on scouting around the map. But for MCanning it will probably pay off, as we see his rally point is set up to find it, and that's going to be a big deal. He's opening 4 Stalker. Should be going into a Nexus relatively soon as well. And here we go. He's going to be able to find the proxy oracle. Now MCanning should know that it's too late to go and attack it. So instead what you do is you just go for the defensive play, and you just hope that your Stalkers are in the correct position and you'll be fine. Now, 2 Adept Shades do end up finishing. Nexus is actually pretty late here for DisK. I'm not sure why. It feels like he did something wrong in the build order. Shouldn't be at the same timing as MCanning, who went 5 units actually, or 4 units before Nexus. Yeah, okay, should be pretty similar timing then, I guess. But this, I think this could have been 1 or 2 workers, but because he's getting another Oracle, he decides it's probably not worth it to go in there and take damage. Now he realizes when the Adept Shade into the main base, he will be able to get in and get 6 worker kills. Now that's definitely worth it. That's a very big play. MCanning in a little bit of trouble. His pro production has been good, so even though he lost 6 workers, he's only 4 workers behind perhaps, but he does need to be careful. Now we have a pylon on the other side of the map. This will most likely be used for an Adept Warp in, I do believe. I can't really imagine it being anything else. Yes, there we go. Now Adepts are terrible once scouted, but if they're not scouted and your opponent isn't using their oracles at home in defense, all of a sudden there's really only 3 Stalkers and nothing else here. So let's see if MCanning will be able to use those to great effect. Oracle tries to come in, try to do some damage, but not really gonna work here. Still only 3 units out right now, and this is the ideal scenario for MCanning, where the natural has finished, so he can walk into the natural if this gets blocked off. DisK is not responding yet, so 2 Adept Shades do finish. That's 1, that's a 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he's gonna get a lot of workers here, and he's gonna shade straight into the natural, where I guess there is a battery, so with a single Adept shouldn't be able to do too much damage. Here comes the Oracle in the main base. I feel like these Oracles should join up together at this point. Now we see MCanning actually pulling ahead in the worker count. So after a rocky start, he now is back in it. Losing 5 workers is never something you want to do, and now both players have done it. So you'd say they're at equal footing, but I still think I I slightly prefer MCanning's position here, as he just has a little more probes. Now Oracles of course do give some potential later on in the game. Oh, we have another double Adept, I think, shading in. Only getting 3 kills this time, but still probably worth it. I don't think this has been producing probes the greatest. Oh, workers going down here as well for MCanning, so 4 workers lost against 3. Now it's difficult to say if it's worth it, 1 oracle for for 4 kills, right? I think if you do it very early on, it might be. But I think in this case, I don't think it's too great, honestly. I'm not a massive fan of it. But DisK decided to do it, and we'll have to live with it. See both players going into Blink. MCanning not with a robo. Actually, it does have a robo already, so... do both players have a robo? No, we don't see a robo yet out of DisK. Instead, he will trust on his Oracle to provide any detection that he might need in case of TTs or observers flying around. No extra gas is being taken yet here for MCanning, who might be going into something that's become a little standard, which is a 4-gate triple Nexus. And then you take your gases after. This can be done with 3 gas, this can be done with 2 gas, but we see MCanning just goes into 4 gas. This is a little more how we used to play before the super battery arrived, or as the Chinese call it, the nuclear battery. Pylon does end up falling, DisK is going to go for a move out, but this pretty much seems like a useless mission if you ask me. And once the first Immortal pops out for MCanning, I don't think these Stalkers should be able to do too much damage. I could be wrong, of course. I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again. There is a battery here as well. And there's 8 Stalkers, so good Stalker count, 1 Immortal. If I was DisK, I'd be a little bit afraid of just blinking in willy-nilly, but seems like DisK has bigger balls than me, and it's gonna pay off as he gets the first pylon for free. Oh, mediocre blink there by MCanning. It's gonna cost him a Stalker or 2. Okay, so 2 Stalkers traded against 1 Stalker and a pylon. It's actually a good trade for MCanning. Usually when you have these blink Stalker moves out, behind it you see the Protoss doing something, either some kind of attack, and here we go, we see the Robo Bay, or a fast third base, and sometimes you even see both things happening at the same time. Now, that's not what we're seeing here, as DisK adds 2 more gateways, both players actually going into Robo Bay, so we're gonna be seeing Stalker Disruptor here, which I don't mind, honestly. I'm a fan of Stalker Disruptor. I really am. I'm also a fan of getting a couple of Immortals first. Now, the reason why having 1 or 2 Immortals in that army is really useful is whenever you get... that's a bit sloppy by this. Whenever you get any type of Disruptors out, and the other guy has enough Blink Stalkers to one-shot, they can just kind of blink in, snipe your Disruptor, and then just walk out again. But if you have 1 or 2 Immortals and they blink in, they just instantly lose like 1 or 2 Stalkers. You just do way more damage and can just insta-kill Stalkers way faster. So it makes your Disruptors a bit safer in general. So if you're out of position for half a second, you can just get blink sniped straight away. Now, charge is finishing up for MCanning. We have another Oracle on the way here for DisK. Oh yeah, this is... I love it. This is actually kind of a cute play. Getting another Oracle, because who the hell does that, right? You haven't used in a while, both Oracles have died, but MCanning still has 2 Stalkers in the main base, not willing to send those towards his main army. Good blink there by MCanning, gets 1 Stalker. I feel like Stalker count is in favor of MCanning right now. He also has more Immortals, he's only really down in Disruptors. Second Robo going down. He has a lot of gateways already. I guess it's fine. He can decide what he wants to do. Dark Shrine is here as well. I'm loving MCanning's position at this point, honestly. Really, the only thing that's lacking for MCanning here is maybe a couple more probes and perhaps a little bit of map vision, right? Maybe try to take this tower. But otherwise, I mean, he just is. I think he's just in a better spot at this point. You have DisK still roaming around the map with a smaller Stalker force than MCanning has, so I'm not sure how he keeps getting away with it. Dark Shrine is about to finish up for the can. Has it been spotted? Wait, where is it? Has not been spotted yet. There's now double Disruptors on the way for MCanning as well, so Disruptor count should start growing pretty quickly. I'm looking forward to some of these Disruptor battles. Usually the player with the most map control kind of wins these battles, because it's just easier if you have map control to do stuff. Now you have 3 DTs moving out, there's cannons ready in every single base though, so unless they come in as one, single DTs and single bases are not going to be able to do too much. I love that they're being saved up here. I think it's a good play. MCanning is aware of the cannons. No, he's aware of 1 cannon at least. And usually cannons don't come alone, so I think you can assume there's more than one cannon, or at least that every base had at least one cannon. Ooh, you saw it? There was an Ursadon over there. Beautiful creature. So majestic. Now, we have a bit of a supply lead here for MCanning, who's going into a Prism. Is just playing really, really passive. I don't think he quite understands that he is in a better spot. I mean, he has more Stalkers. He has a good enough amount of Disruptors. And he has a couple of Immortals in his army. So I feel like, if anything, he should be on the map trying to make something happen. Perhaps towards this potential fort, this area. And then running in with a couple of Dark Templar into this cannon, or I guess 2 cannons and a battery might be a bit much, but you do want to make some kind of play, you know, when you're ahead with Disruptor Stalker. And you can get map control as easily as he is, then that's probably important. Oracle does end up falling. Now you see DisK moving forward, decent blink as 1 or 2 Stalkers. So initially I always prefer having these Immortals for safety, but once you get to the bigger Disruptor counts, it's actually good to get rid of the Immortals in some type of run by. So, for example, you send like 3 Immortals and 10 Zealots and 1 DT towards this fort base, because they're not as good in your army anymore. It just makes it less mobile, or at least that's what it feels like. And they're really, really good in run bys usually, because a lot of people don't really get charged when they play this kind of style. So they need to defend either with slow Zealots or with Stalkers, and Stalkers against Immortals don't do too well. So we'll see how MCanning will utilize them. The DTs come in. I mean, this is a mission in pointlessness. And we do have a warp in the main base. That's a lot of DTs and a lot of Zealots being warped in as well. Prism does end up falling. Funny thing is, this kind of creates an opportunity here for MCanning to move out on the map without really being stopped whatsoever. I feel like that DisK is a little bit slow here to respond to the threat at his third base, no? I mean, he's completely out of position. Good blink forward there with 1 Stalker, making sure that nothing was coming his way. 1 or 2 Disruptor balls going into the probes. I love these zoning Disruptor shots by MCanning. Oh my god. Massive shots here. Losing, I think that was 4 Disruptors that just went down. Yeah, 4 Disruptors just died. That's not great. We have a Prism here for DisK as well, but what the hell is this? What's this guy doing? Hi lads, how's life? Not much. Oh, Prism comes in. I mean, there's plenty of units here, so there should be no issue. Prism feed is finished, battery overcharge gets used. Ooh, this is a nasty, these are nasty shots here. We still have 2 Disruptor balls available. Immortal's tanking quite a bit of damage, and MCanning actually up in supply, but he's gonna be losing a lot of his Disruptors. He's once again going down to 3 Disruptors. DisK's issue is that he just barely has any probes. He just has 52 probes. He's on 4 bases. That's not the way it's supposed to be. So he's trying to fix that by getting a couple more. 2 Disruptors on the way at that time for MCanning. Good dodge there by DisK though. What's happening down here? 2 DTs might go towards that fort base. You could see a blink forward into one of these Disruptors. Okay, too many Stalkers, I guess. And still too many shots available. This is kind of scary for MCanning now. He was in a pretty decent lead all game long, and now all of a sudden Disruptor count is even, Stalker count is in favor of DisK. I wouldn't have minded seeing a blink forward into that. Just a quick snipe, push him backwards. We gotta be seeing a stasis trap over here. Good vision as well here for DisK. Oh, DT's actually doing some work at this fort base. Now this is really gonna annoy DisK, or at least it should really annoy DisK. A lot of stuff died there again, didn't it? I think that was like 2 or 3. This moves forward. I think that shot was earlier. No, MCanning's shot was slightly faster. These DTs are putting in some root. There's an observer. What the hell are you doing, mate? Hello? 13 workers are going down. Good Disruptor shot. Help zone out, but DisK flooding a lot of money right now. Feels like he's falling apart against these 2 DTs. It's not quite what you want. Pro production restarts once again, and all of a sudden MCanning is up 20 supply. All of that still in probe though, so The army of DisK is still looking fine enough that he can do something. We see a DT run by heading towards the third base, most likely not gonna work because there's too many cannons. Fifth base is on the way for MCanning as well. And here comes another push out by DisK, who loses his, what is this, his sixth? His fourth Oracle this game. It feels like he's been losing a lot of Oracles. Even rebuild his Stargate, get some extra vision on the map. Here come the DTs. They're gonna be in for quite a surprise, honestly. MCanning can already see them on the mini maps. Like, well, I'll just warp in 2 zealots then, mate. So we have another run by MCanning as well towards this fourth base. So MCanning is going to try to defend his own fifth base, but I'm not quite sure if he can. Where are all the disruptors? It says there's 4 for DisK, but okay, there's 1 down here. There's 2 in the army, and there's 1. Oh my god, he has so many random disruptors really not doing anything. Fifth base gets retaken. It's run by ends up not doing too much, honestly. Ursalon. Oh, come on, attack him, mate. Sad. Another small zealot run by, but I mean, this seems well defended enough. Now this completely out of position as MCanning's like, alright, I'll blink in. Gets a disruptor shot, gets 17 probe kills at once. Base trade gets initiated. Now, I think this base trade is going to be very, very good for MCanning, as he just has good defense, he has batteries, he has even has disruptors at home. Who would have thought that? He can recall and be up 2 bases. But he can also continue the base trade and perhaps instantly win the game. Is there still a battery? There's still a battery available. What is this disruptor shot? Hello? We saw an Ursula. MCanning is coming back. This is only Stalkers at this point. DisK still has 7 disruptors at home for whatever reason. Stalker armory does end up getting pushed back, and MCanning takes a very commanding position in this game where I feel like that wasn't really necessary. I feel like DisK had the tools, he was in the positions where he definitely could have been fighting. Now he retakes his fourth base, but only 38 workers are out. He's getting more disruptors. The rest of his army starts moving across the map again. Still 88 against 112 army supply, which does mean that it's completely possible to make a comeback. I mean, you need a couple of decent disruptor hits and you're fine. But so far, the spread of units has been fantastic by MCanning. I'm not sure what this guy's doing, but it ends up paying for it with his life. Her life, its life. I'm not quite sure what this disruptor is. Oh, a mechanical unit, isn't it? A force of energy. As we have an observer with this army, which is nice, otherwise the DPs would really ruin it. Is MCanning actually gonna go for a base trade? That seems kind of wild. I'm not sure why he would do that. He's so far ahead. I feel like a base trade is truly the only way he could possibly lose. And we still have a battery overcharge immediately being used. Is there any extra disruptors here? No, there's not. I think this is a mistake by MCanning, honestly. He's just giving away a base for free for no real reason. Do we have any disruptors at home here for DisK? No, we don't. Good potential shot here. No, completely misses. Third base goes down for both players. MCanning's still up in a bit, well, at least one base, of course, but I'm getting a little bit afraid here. Like, not that he's losing, but there's now the possibility of losing, which I don't really think there was before if he just would have fought one-on-one. Very odd decision making here. Big recall on all of these disruptors. I do like that, but it also means that this army is very weak all of a sudden. And might just get pushed back by reinforcing warplanes. I mean, MCanning's upgrades are so much better as well. He has 3-2 against just 3-0. Extra disruptors are now being built, and I think this might just be it for DisK, as he's on 80 supply against 175, so more than double the supply here for MCanning, and as he's going to be catching these stalkers, I think this is an absolute world of trouble. Might still try to throw some of his disruptor shots, so it really didn't do too much with those disruptors. Unit lost very equal, so the reason why MCanning won, or is winning, isn't necessarily because of his better micro or anything like that, but just because he had way more income over the course of this game. I mean, having 2k less resources lost doesn't really translate into 100 supply usually. It might be 20 supply or 15 supply, but not 100. Now, here comes DisK. is going to be able to snipe one disruptor before a fire is gonna jump. No, it's not gonna do it. There's Dark Stride on the way. What the hell? Absolutely wild. Now here come the blink forwards, and I think this might just be it. You have a couple of disruptor shots being well, denied by MCanning, and GG gets called. MCanning wins this game, and DisK taps out. Now, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter. Watch any more videos. Love you all. See you next time. Bye bye.